In this video, as a part of a Key for beginners, I will explain some programs which are related to previous video, that is the control flow statements. So in case of control flow statements, there are three different categories. That is the conditional statements. For this purpose, you are using if and then switch, and looping statements. For this purpose, you can use the loops for, while, as well as while. And unconditional statements. For this purpose, you can use the break, continue, go to, exit, as well as a return, like this statements. By covering all this, I'll explain some of the examples along with some examples of as operators also. So now what's my requirement is find out the sum of two numbers is even or odd. Find out the sum of two numbers is even or odd. This already I was explained in the programming practice techniques by using flowchart. Same thing I had to implement in the C programming. So the structure of the C program is it start with the main function. Already know the algorithm, what the variables you want, and one more variable is required, that is the sum. Because why? Because I'm taking the third variable in the sense still the process is there. Based on the sum, we have to display that is a even or odd. And to display any information, you can use the statement printf. To accept the integers, you can use the %d. In a single scan, if you want to accept, you can give the prompt according to that values for n1 and n2. And by using single scanf, you can accept. %d, address of the variable, that is n2. Now come to the process. Calculate the sum by using the formula sum of n1 and n2. Now based on the condition. Already told, once you can define the condition is satisfied. If you want to execute only one statement, no need of a block, that is no need of curly bracket. Directly you can use the statement. What's my expected output is whether the sum is even or odd. So you can display according to that output is displayed the next time, so that you can use the /n. %d is even. What is the value for %d? Which variable you are verifying whether it is even or odd? Sum. So that you can display, so that it will display simply even or odd. So number is even, so number is odd, like this, the sum value also. Is odd. Not completed. As the proper name for this. Save as type as a. So this is a Dev C++ editor. You can work with both programs like a C as well as C++. Before saving this file, you have to set this save as type resource. By default, it's C++. Without changing this save as type C source file, don't recognize the printf and then scanf and must the file name. Now to compile and execute, you can use the function F11. Pass the input. Now give the value is 12 before. What happened? Getting the value as come to the next one. I will give an example for a switch, how to use the switch statement. I am taking for switch the expression either number or character is of C language. So accept a character, check that it is vowel or not, or consonant. So based on this, how many variables are required? Only one variable is required, that is a character type. After accepting a character, you can take the switch statement. There you can do the multiple cases. What are the characters are vowel? You can specify both lower and then upper cases. And first of all, you can define the main block. You can declare the variable, give the prompt to the user. Without prompt also you can accept directly, but it's not possible to understand sometimes. Better to give the prompting for the end user, like enter a character. To accept a character, you can use the format specifier %C. You can use a ampersand C. Or you can use the character based functions getChar also. That's depends on the situation. You can use a character based or format based. Now you can start with the switch block. For the switch, you can use the expression as the input which you are accepting by using the variable C1. Here you can define the cases. What are the characters or vowels you can mention? Consider both upper and then lower. All you can specify for each and every case, you can print and then you can say break. Or you can specify what are the different possibilities for vowel. All you can specify at a time. Do the statement as a vowel. After that, you can give the break. Both are same. Try to copy. Statements are same. Characters changed. So vowel is capital E. I. IOU or here you can use once all the set of characters are specified, so that you can use the printf statement. And %C is a vowel. What is the value for %C? Variable you are verifying C1. So that you have to mention. For %C, you are getting the value for break statement. . All the above cases are not matching. Suppose you are not giving AOU, the control comes to default. The next line, percentage C is not work. Same thing, you are getting the value from a C1. For this, use the break because the last part of this is even if a problem. This is the switch close and this is the main function close. Once complete, save this file. The must save as type is the C source file because we are using C++ editor to the file name. To run this program, compile and execute function F11, enter a character. Suppose I try to capital L. L is not a. Again, we try to run and proper input capital A. A is like this only for certain type of program or optional values. Already I told the difference between if and switch is in case of if to specify the condition, you can use any relational operators as well as the logical operators. Whereas in case of switch, even though you are not here, you are not using any operator. What is the meaning of this expression? The C1 value equal to this case A. Here you are not using any equal operator. There is a difference between. Come to the next program. I will explain some about loops. Here the program is display the numbers between. What is the use of loops? Putting some set of statements number of times is called iteration. For this purpose, you can use the loops. The numbers between 1 and 10. So, already told in the programming, practicing, and techniques, one variable is enough. That you can take it as a 10. Now, here we have 3 loops. In this case, which loop is suitable, you have to decide. Same program, it's possible by using for loop, by using while loop, by using do while. But which one is the best? In what cases you preferred for loop? There is a proper initialization and a proper condition and a proper changing the value, then use the for loop. The condition is depends on some calculations or some process, then better to go for while as well as do while. Now in this case already the starting number is given, ending number is given. What is incrementation value? Also there. So continuously have to display the numbers from 1 to 10 so that you can use an initialization part. For loop having 3 parts. In this case, what happened? N equal to 1, and it will check with the upper bound condition n less than or equal to 10, and n plus plus. N plus plus in the sense n is incremented by 1. Already I told either in case of conditional statements or looping statements, if you want to execute only one statement, no need to define a block. That is, no need to use the curly brackets. Want to display the output in the same line, use some space between the numbers. What is the value you want to display? What is the value for percentage %d? We are getting the value from a loop, that is a variable is a n. Save this file, save as tabs, source file, numbers. I will show same program how we can do with the help of a while loop. So the numbers between 1 and 10 using a while. Define a main function. Same process, same variables. But only thing is, before starting the loop, you must initialize. Is a must case of a for loop. Same thing your previous program specified the for loop arguments. All three have to specify. That's why better to use the any ranges comes into the picture. Better to use the for loop. Anyhow, I'll show what happened here. Now we can check with this condition while n less than or equal to 10. Try to display n value. I want to display the output in same line. So here I'm defining a block. Why? Because after displaying the value, definitely I have to increment. So sometimes if you forget incrementation of n value, what happens? See. Now save this file. Component execution, the infinite loop. The loop becomes a infinite. Have to close manually. It won't terminate. Here, increment the value by 1. Use the increment operator n plus plus, or you can say n equal to n plus 1 or n plus equal to 1. All are same. Now in this case, so that means while working with the while loop, before starting the while, you must initialize. Once entered into the process, that is the iteration process, must increment or you must change. Whereas in case of for loop, the for loop definition itself, we are specifying all three parameters. That is the advantage for loop. Problem contains any. Same thing, I'll extend the same program with the do while also. Then what happened? Do while. Usually the initial value of n equal to 1, do at least one time the statement is executed. So display the n value. So 1 is a display. After that, incrementation is a must because otherwise it becomes infinite to n plus plus. And what is the condition here? It is while n less than or equal to 10 or 9, less than or equal to 9. 1 is a display. After displaying 1 becomes plus plus becomes 2, 2 less than 9. It comes to 9, 9 less than or equal to 9. 9 is displayed. 9 plus 10 less than or equal to other way. Let's type do while print. Based on these two statements, on the two statements, initial value condition is a depend. For example, try to give the n equal to 0. I place this n plus plus before the statement. In this case, n less than or equal to 9. What happened? Initial value is n is a 0, 0 plus plus it becomes 1, 1 is a 1 less than or equal to 1 plus plus 2 is a display. Once it comes to the 9, 9 less than or equal to 9. Condition is true. 9 plus 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 1 becomes 10. 10 is the display. 10 less than or equal to 9 fails. Like this, while in a example, go to statement, unconditional statements. Before going to the go to example on break and then continue. In case of break, what happened? So mostly break and continue, mostly you can use iteration process, that is in loops. In case of break, what happened? At certain condition, the loop is terminated. To define there is no proper definition for a problem. What is the purpose of the example? Now you can take the for loop 1 to 10, 10 plus plus. All three have to specify. Here you execute multiple statements. That's why you can use if n equal to 5, then break. Was display the n value. Break exit. Case it is not format. Title bar you can answer. Take example.c. And component execution. Means in case of break, what happened? At certain condition, the loop is terminated. In case of continue, or I can more time continue. In case of continue at certain condition, value is a skip equal to 1, less than or equal to 10. n plus plus. Now, for executing multiple statements, here you can say if n equal to 5, or comparing, you can use a double equal to, not single equal to. Continue. In case of continue, the 5 is a skipped number. Otherwise, you can display value. Now, save as type is a must. Already solve the problem for not change. Won't recognize the function case. Right? Continue. The 5. It goes to take, and the next program I will explain example for go to based on certain condition and based on the label to execution. So go to statement. Try to take an ls1. Try to define a label. Label name may be anything, but it must be followed by colon. Then only the compiler can recognize this is the label. Now here I will give the label name as lab1. My assumption is label 1. Here I try to check the condition n less than or equal to 5. I want to display. I want to display 5 numbers. Not using loop, but here I can use go to lab1. So in this case, what happened? As type example. Initial value of n is 1. Anyhow, by custom execution, a compiler can identify the lab1, check with this condition, n less than or equal to 5. Once it comes down, the execution control comes down, then only go to is required. Forward direction from top to bottom, generally students can get the doubt without using, after declaring an integer n equal to 1, without using the statement go to lab1, how the control goes. This is the information regarding that point. In forward direction, execution control is from a top to bottom, automatically it will recognize the label. Once the execution control comes down, again if you want to go it back, then only you can use go to. Right? Is there any condition whether the go to is used in a bottom or in some middle? Use anywhere, or you can define the labels anywhere. Only top. Now, what is the problem here? When n value is not increment, then you use the n plus plus 5. Once it comes to 5, 5 less than or equal to 5 is this, and from 6 again, let that go to tab 1. Check with the condition 6 less than or equal to 5, it failed. Amounts. It is general. Don't want to execute other statements. At a time, if you want to come out permanently from runtime, you can use exit. And while working with the functions, I will give you an example for a written statement. So I'll give one more last example. By using XOR operator, how we can interchange the values. The operator comes under the price. The two numbers. So in a single prompting, you can access the both. Enough. We're going to accept two values, two integer values. That's user, two percentage days. What are the variables? Address of the variables. One is N1, address of N2. So this program was explained in a programming practice and technique. Go through that video. So you can write an expressions like this: N1 equal to N1, other operator N2. 2 equal to N1, other operator N2. Then N1 equal to N1, other operator N2. Finally, you can display the next line. You can display the output N1 equal to percentage D, comma, N2 equal to percentage D, N1 comma N2. Want to display in clear aspect after interchange. Display for interchange. What are the values for N1 and N2 for this process to the same printf statement for interchange. Statement must be terminated by semicolon. Also, semicolon is a must. Otherwise, if you get an error, statement missing. Now save this file. Save as type as a source file. Change or give the values for 12, 10, 21 for interchange. It will display percentage D can display the value. Simple D it is alphabet. That will display percentage. Will display 12. 12 is a 12. 12 is a after. So that is about sample examples on bitwise operators as well as the control flow statements. Then we'll explain about the most important concept, function.